Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and with the launch of Fallout 76, I often draw comparisons to one game underneath the Bethesda umbrella. That title is Elder Scrolls Online, a game that I feel Fallout 76 can stand to learn a lot from. Both games actually share quite a bit of similarities in their launch. They both were shaky and buggy when they first released, and on top of that, initial reception from both fans and critics were mediocre to bad. The goal of today's video is to highlight some of the history of ESO as it went from poor launch and dead on arrival to transitioning into one of the most popular MMOs in that space today. I feel Fallout 76 can actually take a couple of pages from the Elder Scrolls Online handbook, and I'd be surprised if Bethesda Game Studios already hasn't tapped ZeniMax Online Studios on the shoulder for this. Elder Scrolls Online launched on April 4th, 2014 for $60. On top of that was included a $15 a month subscription fee, which put a lot of fans off because they were paying $75 on month one to get their foot in the door. This dissuaded a lot of people from trying the game, especially when upon that launch there was a lot of bugs, glitches, and overall the game just wasn't that fun. Along the way, a console release came a year later on June 9th, 2015, titled Tamriel Unlimited. Now, while Tamriel Unlimited was still the vanilla game that dropped on April 4th, 2014, this added subtitle / tagline signified a change from the monthly subscriptions to paying for the game once and always being able to play Elder Scrolls Online. Furthermore, at this point in time, a lot of the bugs, glitches, and issues with the title had been ironed out by early adopters who believed in this game and thought it could be something better than it actually was. Another year later, there was Elder Scrolls Online Gold Edition, which included Tamriel Unlimited, which I just described earlier, and the expansions Imperial City, Orsinium, Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, on top of a horse mount and 500 crowns to spend on at the in-game store. Nowadays, you can find this version of the game on sale for about $20 to $40, which is downright insane given there are hundreds of hours bundled into there and a lot of the content you have is good. The goal from Bethesda became clear. Get as many copies of this game into the hands of gamers with a cheap buy-in price and hope that the in-game store will make some of the money back. They also clearly took feedback into account as they adjusted the subscription fee and found a nice happy medium for folks that really propelled the game into a successful area. If we take a look at the Steam charts for Elder Scrolls Online, from the bottom going up, it's their launch period to now the current month of this game's release. We can clearly see that over time, Elder Scrolls Online grew more and more, and in the year 2018 has enjoyed its highest concurrent player count for PC. That's great. Now, does all this sound somewhat familiar when I talk about price adjustments, getting players' foot in the door? Take a look at the Black Friday sales for Fallout 76 combined with its shoddy reviews across the board. Bethesda wants to get people to buy into this game to hopefully support it just long enough for them to likely relaunch in some way, shape, or form. Now, why am I talking about relaunches? Not only was it for the Elder Scrolls Online example, but also I sometimes listen to Kind of Funny Games Daily, and they had a fan question that was asked and sparked a discussion of, will Fallout 76 be worthy of a re-review? And this includes the idea of patches or through expansions, kind of like a Destiny 2. Now, I personally sit on the side of the fence that is, I feel patches should be discussed, but they are not making the game worthy of a re-review. Probably these patches and updates are going to add a little bit of content to Fallout 76 and overall add to the vision Bethesda has for it, but I feel it will take for a named expansion like Fallout 76 New York or Fallout 76 The Expanded Wasteland to actually bring folks in and give it a second look and see just how far 76 has come since its initial launch. How long will that take for Fallout 76 is a whole other entirely different discussion, because I don't know if Bethesda Game Studios has a different approach for 76 versus ESO. Because while Fallout 76 is very much a spin-off of the traditional Fallout formula, the way it was marketed and shown off before launches with the Vault Tech promotions and how Bethesda was kind of standing on the line of, oh, it's multiplayer, but oh, it's also single player, it doesn't really cater to one audience or another, which was quite different from Elder Scrolls Online, which in the title Elder Scrolls Online, you know, it's a online game, and on top of that, it was visually different, it was a different developer, which kind of highlights and punctuates that spin-off move, and the gameplay from Elder Scrolls Online compared to, we'll say, Skyrim or Oblivion was completely transformed. everything about the game from title to developer to gameplay screamed something different from the traditional Elder Scrolls experience. Whereas Fallout and Fallout 76, when you look at 4 to 76, exploration's one and the same, gunplay's one and the same, developers one and the same. So overall, will that named expansion be enough to lead to a bounce back for Fallout 76? I'm not a fortune teller. It's really hard to tell with this game based off its launch. However, I do remember with Elder Scrolls Online that it was very apparent folks had given up on it at launch, and it seemed dead on arrival, just like Fallout 76, and there was a low player count, just like Fallout 76, buggy, just like Fallout 76, and there was a lot of vocal displeasure, just like Fallout 76. So if Bethesda is to maybe take a page from the Elder Scrolls Online handbook, perhaps over time they can recover Fallout 76, but right now, obviously, it's hard to say if that will ever happen, especially a month after launch, where things aren't looking too pretty. Anyway, that was a discussion I've been dying to have for a really long time. It is a topic that has circled in my head for weeks and weeks and weeks as I've stirred on it more and thought, man, these two games are just so alike in the terms of launch and situations, as well as transformations of a popular single-player RPG to something completely different. So I'm really curious to see what all of you have to say on this in the comments down below. I don't want folks to get the idea that I'm creating this video as a way to say, oh, Fallout 76 will bounce back and here's the line of defense for it. I'm more so trying to spark the discussion a little bit on the recovery of this game, and if it's possible, will they take the Elder Scrolls Online approach? Once again, I'm dying to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below, so do fire away. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active, I love you all, peace.